Good afternoon. It is Thursday, the 6th of June, 2019. Are you ready for the cryptocurrency bull market? Studies say that 80% of traders lose money and stop trading after 6 months to 18 months when they're trading stocks. I wonder how it's been over the last year with trading cryptocurrencies. Today we're going to go through a few different things that I hope are going to help all of us do better in our cryptocurrency trading. Let's dig in and see how the markets are. All right, let's go through a few housekeeping things to begin with. Hey, good to have you along the pothead. Let's start off with this disclaimer. This isn't financial advice, it's just market observation. And now we'll dig into what the whole thing is about here. Let's do a few details to help you make the most of this. First of all, we are going to study the markets and review them against our trading plan. And you can get a copy of this trading plan by going to digitalcurrencytraders.com. And when you land on the website, it looks like this. You can scroll down and get this free chapter. We are doing the Crypto Bull Market Watch live stream right now. And you can get the trading plan PDF that this is based on, and you get access to this Bull Market Watch spreadsheet. In fact, you don't even have to sign up over there to get this spreadsheet. I'm going to give it to you in the chat right now. The Bull Market Watch read-only Google document. Here it is. So now we're all on the same page, and you can be checking that as we go. Let's go back over here. Next thing I want to invite you to do is to click on a link in the description down below, or click on the link in the chat and join us over on Discord so that when we're done this conversation, you can continue to talk on about cryptos. What we're going to do is go through all of the cryptocurrencies on Poloniex just because it's a nice market average of everything. And Binance has so many coins that is part of our paid package that you get far more detail than we're going over here today. So today we go over these markets. We're looking to grade them. Yellow means it's an alert. It's coming up. It could be a buy signal soon. And we got a bunch of those, I think. Green is great, of course. It's gone past our buy level and it would be something we would want to be holding. Blue means we want to get out of that trade. Orange and red are bad. That means that the markets are on their way down, and there is still a possibility of that. Gray are neutral. They're sort of in between our trading signals and the fail areas. So we'll go through now and grade all these markets and check them all out. And what that does for us is it gives us a color-coded flow of all of the cryptocurrency markets. And you can see here that when we did the study back in January and pull it forward through February, we can see where everything turned from gray to yellows to greens. It was really clear where to be getting in. The bull market had changed. And unfortunately, I stopped doing it for the entire month of April when we did top out and started coming back. This time through, we should cover all the information we need so that you should be able to do this stuff on your own. It's really not rocket science. You just need to get this habit, this system, and once you understand this trading method, you should be able to prove it. And so in the middle of June on the 17th, we're partnering with Altcoin Fantasy to put on a trading contest. There's going to be $5,000 in prizes of Bitcoin and training packages. So I'm very interested in you guys participating in that, and I want everybody who's watching my channel to win at this contest rather than the people who are finding the contest through a different source and then joining us. Let's see, where are we? Good. So now I'll bring up Ardor and we'll start rocking through this. I can't take too long at this today. I've got to whip through it, but if you have a market that you want me to check out that's outside of what we're doing here on Poloniex, just put it in the chat and I'll go over and bring up that chart and do the same thing with it. But right now I'm going to go through our simple trading plan, and we're looking for markets that have a downtrend. First of all, they break the downtrend line and start making a bottom formation. We're looking for a specific type of trend reversal pattern. It's a failed retest of a recent low. This has worked for over 100 years. And even though we have all of this manipulation and all of these bots and everything in trading cryptos, this system still works. And we've been proving it out. So as you follow along here, click on thumbs up, subscribe so that you get these updates as we go along. You'll see how this plays out over time. And I'm very excited with this trading contest coming up. So we have the break of the downtrend line. We have a setup of the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, but we're also looking for, let me change the time frame to the 12-hour bar. We're looking for our exponential moving averages to cross over at the same time. So this red line gives us a basic idea of where that trading alert might happen. So after that explanation, I'll go and I'll update this in our chart down below there as neutral, because it's in between failing and breaking out, but it's not close enough to breaking out to call it an alert. So mind you, if you are trading it, it could blast off right out of this. So be sure to go over and get that trading plan, download it from the website so that you are following along with this. I'm going to continue on the scan now and pick up the speed a little bit. Here is an alert that you can see that we put on and is holding some really nice profit. Just as a segue, let's see, it is up 33% profit. Here are some of the profitable trades that our crypto signals are holding right now. 40%, 39%, 36%, 33%, some really great moves that we caught here. This is one of them going back to Adam. And we can see that I believe it's going to be continuing on. So in our spreadsheet, we would mark it as a hold and continue on to basic attention token. Basic attention token is a near fail. It's not looking good there. It's got to pick up and give us some more juice. BCH ABC, neutral. And I still don't have space for SV in there. That's my mistake. Crazy, but there would be no buy signal in this now. It did make the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and even if I'm not paying attention to it, these formations still happen. The trading signal was good. It was clean. It was great, but I wasn't paying attention to it. I wasn't watching it. BCN, still a near fail down at those levels. BNT, Banker Network Token. I'm expecting that it is still building up, but you can see it's kind of breaking the downtrend line, easing sideways out of it, but not enough yet to be an alert. Still neutral. Bitcoin, now how do I grade that? Let's go to a different chart. So here's Bitcoin US dollar on the 1 minute bar. So it's really came back and it's bounced, but is that enough? Let's zoom back to the 3-month view. And for this trading method, we're going to call this a cold fish because the exponential moving averages on the 4-hour time frame crossed over. And that's going to be our kick out level. And it might have been the day before. What was the last day I did this? On the 3rd of June. I don't think it crossed over, but I would have to double check it. I don't think I even looked, actually, to tell you the truth. So this is now a cold fish, which is an exit. Yeah, I got it right. And that crossover of the 1, 2, 3 top formation is something we were watching on the other live stream that I do, the 10-minute a day thing, the 24 hours of Bitcoin. Nailed it and called it, but it's still, I don't know, it depends on your trading strategy because the exponential moving averages on the 12-hour time frame have not crossed over. So as we go forward now, we have some really great data to compare. Should we have got out at that time, or should we have held and let it have some flexibility? Great. Those are always questions, and there's no answer for it until the market actually tells us. This is looking a little bit bullish. I'd watch this in a few days or tomorrow, or who knows, that could take right off. BitShares is also looking pretty good here. It still stays neutral according to this trading plan, according to this study. Clam, I think it's going to be a fail for as long as we watch this chart, but it's even gotten worse. Whoever was holding some coins and hoping has finally gave up and sold. I think that market is completely illegitimate. Neutral for Civic Coin, still in between this 1, 2, 3, but shaping up. All of these things are looking really great, so it's time to be paying attention to these trading patterns. And at the same time that we're looking for the buy signals, we want to be looking for any place that we can make an uptrend line and look for breaks of that. because if Bitcoin does continue to show more strength, the altcoins could continue down further and further and further. And I wanted to stop here at BitShares and talk about that because I'm most familiar with the long-term history of this chart. It's easiest for me to just whip back and bring up examples of the past. So here we had a nice looking potential with a top formation in Bitcoin shaping up, and so it looked like Bitcoin was topping out and was going to come down. The altcoins were looking like they were bottoming and looking some great surges ready to go up, and it didn't really work out. Bitcoin started to take off even further and the alts got crushed more. They tried a couple more times. Look at this great top formation in Bitcoin. Isn't that inviting? Looks so promising. And the altcoins are all setting up. It's convincing that the altcoins are finally going to be taking off. Here's the bottom. Here we go. It choked a little bit, but no, it didn't pan out. It went down even further. And that I recall telling a comparison of looking at the price of BitShares back here when it's just for easy management, easy argument's sake, it was 1,000 Satoshi, and say it's I don't know, $400, 1,000 Satoshi and Bitcoin's at $400. Now, when we jump back to the present, we see that we're near 1,000 Satoshi and Bitcoin's at $8,000. So there's still a lot of room for these altcoins to go down. They're worth 10 times more than they were in 2016. So if Bitcoin's mooning, I really want to pay attention to any kind of top formation signal, even though we're buried in what it looks like a bottom formation. It could be a consolidation and then continuing on down. So this is the second thing that we're watching for in this stream. We're also, we're watching for this break of the downtrend line, the 1, 2, 3 bottom, the exponential moving average crossover, because that always has to happen as a trend is changing direction. Those things have to happen. You just have to keep watching and watching and watch until you finally get the right one, and it may not be yet. Decreed, I'm going to zoom in on this and do the 3-month view. It looks like a near fail. So Dash was neutral. Decreed is back. Well, it is still a near fail. It was near fail last time. And Digibyte, how are you doing? You were on alert last time. Haven't looked. Still hanging out in Alertville, but at the same time, we have trend line up, and a break of that is not good, especially if we're seeing Bitcoin strength out of where we're standing. So what would I say that is? Okay, I'll leave it as no, I'm going to put it neutral. It's just not strong enough. And Doge still stays as an alert in this chart pattern for me. EOS was a hold, but I think it's gone past our entry and has kicked us out as a cold fish in either way. So we're looking at the 12-hour and that exponential moving average crossed over. If I go to the 4-hour time frame, we got kicked out a little bit earlier, and that sort of matched with our entry. So I'm going to put that as an exit, and we'll have to re-watch that one. It's going to have to form a whole new bottom formation right where it is, a whole new internal bottom formation before the turnaround, before we can change that trade signal now. Ethereum Classic was a hold as it broke out of here, and it's pulled back but hasn't broken down below this number 2 point here. So that would be sort of your own judgment on whether or not you held, whether or not you put your stop loss up above your entry and got kicked out of that trade or not. I'm going to leave it as a, I guess I'll leave it as a hold. Ethereum. Hey, good to have you along, Reggae Man. We're a small group of people, but I'm wanting us to be the ones that have the big success when this really turns around. We are prepared. We are doing the work to be ready. Ethereum, I am saying neutral again. I'm wanting it to go up. I have Ethereum. Factum, whoa, I'm glad I got out of that. I bought into it thinking it was going to be going up, and then it didn't prove me correct, so I got out, and good thing too. Now it's down to, a whole new level where I don't know what would have caused it to die like that. There must be some news that I don't know. So I'll have to watch on a really close time frame now, just to curiosity's sake. But wow, We were nailing it though. Look at that. We had it fail, fail, near fail, neutral, fail, all the way along. We were following that and nailing those indicators as they are shaping up. Now, what did I do with that? Is that in the right place? Foam. Wow, love it. I don't love it, but I'm glad I don't have any. Foam came up and just ticked us in if this was an alert that you took action on, and it just came back and hit the stop loss. So this kind of action out of these trading signals is common, and 6 out of 10 times the bottom formations fail, and you have to be so careful with the very earliest entry, or you keep your position very small and you give it more room to move if you're going to be making these decisions. So the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation out of this time frame, from 3 weeks, it's a small one. So now it would be a reset and to try again as it's breaking above these levels, and again with a really small position. We'll add on to those later. So this goes from a hold to a neutral now, just for our adding. Game credits, it's got some more building to do before that can be a turnaround. It could take off, but I want to have it retest that low first. This is looking better because we have 3 hits off this low, now a 4th time, and it's holding there. Should it turn around and start to go higher, now we have some really nice retests of previous support, and that would be confirming. But I'm going to leave it, I guess I'll put it neutral because it's pulled back and it's not looking like an alert right now. But at least it's not a near fail yet. GNT stays, I'm going to put it neutral. It could be an alert tomorrow. It could break out of this formation and hit this target and be in action right away. But not yet. Grin. Oh, I like this pattern. This is a nice looking 1, 2, 3, and the volume pattern underneath it is really good. I don't know what the program is with Grin, but I'm going to make that an alert. KNC, Kyber Network Token, I think. This is also a nice looking chart, and the volume pattern here. Quiet on the way down and then more active here as it's bottoming. So that's very good, but it's got to turn around and cross higher yet, so still neutral. Library credits, I'm subscribed to their email thing, and they're active, they're doing their job, they're working away at it, but the market isn't loving them yet. So this I'll stay is still neutral. Loom, that's a nice looking formation. We have these higher lows. I like the look of that. So a break above this triangle is pretty good. Really tight support and resistance in the near frame, in the near time frame there. So small position until it comes up here and bounces and sets itself above. You'd put on, I don't know, if you had $100, you put on 20 until it set itself above these levels from the support and resistance in the past. And then on the break above this stuff, then you could be laying on, and you would have this much cushion from your initial little trade here that if prices did come back, you're sort of protected against losing too much. So those are some ideas on how to set up a position like that. Loom, I guess I'd have to put it neutral. No longer an alert. It's not pushing up high enough. LPT, you earn your way back up to neutral for now because you've pulled up off of that downtrend right at historical levels. So a little 1, 2, 3 bottom in this is going to shape up to be something nice. I don't know anything about this, but that is more than triple in price. That's all I need to know. Lisk, 1, 2, 3 bottom formation shaping up. The exponential moving average hasn't crossed over, but it's not good enough yet, so still neutral. Litecoin we had marked as a hold because it came out of this 1, 2, 3 bottom and it's showing strength off that. If I'll double hold this one. I think it's going to go way higher. This is the weekly price. I think it's going to be going way higher. It's going to outperform Bitcoin significantly, and I certainly could be wrong, but I think Litecoin is going to be really stepping up. Made, we had marked as a hold. This is not a hold anymore. So I'll put it as neutral. If it goes down a bit more than that, it would be a near fail. Mana, I'm kind of miffed about Mana. It went a little tick up here. I sold some of my Mana and bought OMG instead because of the volume pattern I was watching. And then Mana is the one that's moving first. but it is making a 1, 2, 3 bottom. We are in the 12-hour time frame. If this exponential moving average crosses over, it's good. I'm going to put it as neutral. It could be an alert right away if it starts to push a little bit higher against this level. And you can see that we've got notices for some levels for taking action on there. Navcoin. Hey, day too early. Good to have you along. S4 Suk Sherigan. Good to have you along. I appreciate you guys being here. And when we have this trading contest coming up with Altcoin Fantasy on June 17th, I want everybody in our Discord channel to rock it, because the markets are setting up perfectly. And then to have a contest on top of it as they take off, this should be a lot of fun. This is just amazing to see this. A great formation setting up here. I can't call it an alert yet. It's neutral, but you know, there's a few of these neutrals again that are so close to alerts that it's not fair. And this one, I'm going to leave it as neutral, but it kind of feels like it's ready to drop from there. So it's neutral because it is in between the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. It's not breaking down to near fail territory. NXT. Okay, does that work its way up? I'm going to leave that as a near fail. It's just not as pretty as, not as much support there. I like the volume underneath it. It could be good, but I just don't get it. OMG, 3 higher lows. Very nice. This is building up really nicely. When I was looking at the volume pattern, I was looking at the weekly volume and then zooming in on these for all of the charts and trying to find something that is making that bottom, but also showing, you know, a lot of buying volume in this in the weeklies. This doesn't excite me I don't know why I did the trade. I have to go back and look at mana now. I'm FOMO-ing my mana trade. Just looking at the trade volume here and the trade pattern in the weekly candles reveals some really important stuff. You step back and you get that man from Mars view, and you can really start to see the patterns in the volume that the volume is going to really drive these big moves when they happen. So we have to be prepared for that and see it coming. There's people that know more than us. They are accumulating, then they're sitting back, and they're accumulating, and they're sitting back, and they're waiting. They don't want to move the price up too much. Mike's conspiracy theory. Neutral. Omni. What's up, dude? Love your vids. Very informative. I'll be joining my Discord soon. Hey, right on. And be sure to download that chapter from the website. Go to digitalcurrencytraders.com. This is right now, we are watching the Crypto Bull Market Watch live stream. Head over to digitalcurrencytraders.com and download this free trading plan so that you have that, and you're not going to look back at it in 6 months or 8 months and say, what a difference that would have made if I knew that pattern and understood how to make it work. This is great to follow along with this, but without the written details, you're missing out. Omni. I guess it's neutral now. It's just a hair above near fail. Just enough that I have to actually make it neutral. Pascal, how about you? Wow, I'm surprised actually. I have to read up about the project. It's one of those older coins that did so well in the past. I just assumed it was going to do something. Poly is making kind of a bottom, so I'll move it up to neutral just because of that last green candle is pulling it up off the bottom and showing me that it's not looking like it's going to fail. It feels like it's holding a bottom there. We'll see. Quantum. Hey, that looks like OMG. 3 higher lows and then these 2 peaks at the same time there. It looks pretty similar. So a break above these levels would be worth a small risk of a little bit of money. And then again, the big money when you have this position come up and prove you correct. After it's come up, after it's proven you correct, and it's made a level above these support and resistance from the past, and then showing strength, okay, now the trend is really starting to be your friend, and you can, put the nitro on, basically. This is revealing my own plan and telling it to myself, so that's the way I trade it. And I'm going to move this back to neutral. It's no longer an alert. It was an alert. It poked its nose up there, but it's pulled its way back to neutral. And of course, you have to have a risk control plan if you're actually going to be trading any of this stuff. Rep. Still a fail. Coin. Coin, you move back to a near fail. I was anticipating more from you, but near fail. SNT. All right, you're up to neutral. You maintain your neutrality. 1, 2, 3 bottom and showing a bit of strength. I like the volume pattern. It's not strong, but at least it's neutral. Steam. This is a bigger project than I believe it's a bigger project than I'm giving it credit for, and that it's going to be doing more, but not yet. In this, that's actually, I got to put, it's neutral, but that is so close to a near fail. A little bit more in that red candle, and I would be compelled to make it a near fail, but it's above the number 3 point here. So we still have the 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, and then some pretty good buying accumulation volume. So gotta sit. Storage. Now that's a better looking 1, 2, 3 bottom with a couple green candles at the end. So it's still neutral, but that's a lot better looking neutral than the other ones are. And I'm biased on this one. So beware. I'm biased on that one, and we'll have to really watch it. Here is finally a bottom formation, maybe in this coin. It's kind of breaking the downtrend line. It's breaking this downtrend line and consolidating. Still neutral. It's got some ways to go before it can get up to get our exponential moving averages to cross over. It's got to pull up, and then it's got the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation to break above. So this one has some work to do. It's got a long ways to go if it does that work, and I believe it will, but the charts have to show it rather than I just believe it. Strat. Neutral. But again, you can see that this neutral is not the same as the other neutrals. It's kind of failing, but still above those key levels. Viacoin is the next one on, and I'm going to leave it as a near fail. It's down to nasty levels, but not quite a fail because it's got a couple green candles there. Near fail. Let me change this again. How's that? There we go. I think that's better. What are we on now? VTC. Okay, now there is a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation that actually is turned past alert, and look at right from near fail to alert. I'll leave it as alert, and tomorrow it could be a hold as that exponential moving average crosses, because we have 2 of the 3 criteria setting up here now. We've got the break of the downtrend line. We've got sort of a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, though it's really shallow. I like them to be deeper, but that passes. Then when the exponential moving average crosses over, that is a trade, and I have to not let my personal opinion interrupt with my trading plan, because my trading plan does much better than my own trading just because I keep overriding it at the wrong times with my own opinion. So this is neutral. XMR. And I'm keen for this trading contest coming up because I'm looking forward to you guys taking the information I give you and then beat me with it. Do better. That would be like the highest compliment. Neutral. XPM. I'm anticipating it's still a fail, but it's not looking as hard a fail. It's not as bad a faceplant, but really down to down, down to down, down. Okay. I don't. Anyway. Ripple. This is much better and kind of looking like OMG, and that other coin that looked like OMG, where we've got the 3 higher lows and the similar pattern here. Very similar pattern. I like it. It's a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation that we had as an alert the other day. It stays as an alert because it hasn't broken above that level, and the exponential moving average hasn't quite crossed yet on the 12-hour time frame. You know, that's picking nits and that's being quibbly, and you may just go long at the market right now and then use your risk control rules to get you out if it's not proving you correct. There's lots of different ways to approach it, but we're trying to stick to that simple trading plan. If you're looking for more in-depth ways that we do get into these trades, be sure to come and check out the alerts over on digitalcurrencytraders.com. The crypto signals and alerts package covers everything on Poloniex and everything on Binance too, where there's been some phenomenal action going on over there. ZEC we had as a hold the other day, and I think it'll remain as a hold because it hasn't broken down below those levels. That's actually the first one that's got held. ZRX looking good and better, so I'll leave it as neutral, but really it'll be an alert soon enough. Let me clean that up. It's kind of a cluttered chart. Now, the fun part, I find all this stuff fascinating because I made such a phenomenal amount of profit the last couple times we had these bull waves in the cryptos. I'm putting in double duty and extra work to be sure that all of my stuff is prepared in place for this bull market. And if this bull market tops out, I want to be out of cryptos and into gold and silver, or into fiat at least. So now at the end here, we're going to update this chart by copying and pasting our formula, and it'll count all of those different color coded squares and give us an average. And this is great data when it pulls up. Look at that. It takes a while. It's not great data. Actually, we can see that the bullishness has eased back, and the bearishness, we've got more neutral markets. So it's not terrible, but we've got more neutral markets, and we've got some of these cold fish, the failed markets. Not what I was wanting to see, but good data to have, because if it is going to go more bearish again, then we need to get out of alts. We need to get out of Bitcoin, get into a stable coin or something. Those are some of the options that are set up here. Now let me check the chat. Hey Julius, good to have you along. James Levinson, good to have you along. Tell me about Stellar Lumens. It's my favorite coin. It's one of the coins that I think I've traded second worst this year, actually, because it's one of my favorite coins too. So if I go to my favorites and limit it just to Stellar Lumens, it told us to get out April 2nd or 3rd. No quibble about it, no question. When the exponential moving average crosses on the 12-hour time frame, it's already past the 1, 2, 3 top formation, right? It's already past that. It's already past the break of the uptrend line. No matter how you slice it, no matter how fancy you're getting, it's already broken it. There's another break. There's another break. There's another break. All the way down saying get out. Now it's doing, for me, it's doing a similar thing, but I'm hoping it's going up from here. And I believe it is, but now the pattern, we just have to wait for it. One way or the other, it has to tell us which way it's going. Part of the thing that I do is to look at the indicators. Now, once we know the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, 6 out of 10 times the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation fails. It's a fake out breakout, especially if you're in the shorter time frames. If you're looking at the 4-hour or worse, the 1 hour, or killer, the 15-minute time frames, and you're trading in those time frames, you are whale food, and you will get chewed up and spit out. So be sure that you trade smaller positions with wider stops and wait for these patterns. So when the 1, 2, 3 formation sets up, as I was saying, I look underneath. I feel like I'm looking underneath it, like opening up the hood in the car and looking under the hood to see how the motor is running. By looking at the RSI divergence, does that support whether this is a 1, 2, 3 bottom shaping up going positive for us? If I go to Poloniex and stellar lumens, then I want to go in and take a look at the on balance volume. On balance, is the volume buying, or on balance, is the volume selling? On the way down, the selling will outpace the buying. That's why it's going down. And then there's a point where it hits the very bottom, it's capitulated, it's come back up, and there's more selling, but it's not as strong. And this is a divergence, that's a bullish divergence in the selling pattern. And we saw that bearish divergence here in the buying pattern, where we had lower highs. Let me get this out of the way. Higher highs rather. Higher highs on the price, but on balance volume just didn't match it. It said on the second wave up, we just don't have the volume to keep it. So on the same thing on the way down, we just don't have the volume to sell it down hard enough. And I think that it's going to be doing significant moves up, but we'll have to wait for it to break out and see. It has to cross over those time frame, those setups. And then we can go and look at stellar lumens and check to see what the MACD is telling us. So on the 1 day view, it's looking pretty good actually. This is looking good. The crossover again, the positive histogram, that's all looking good for a takeoff from where we are. And as we start zooming in, then we can pay more attention. It's not giving us anything except a bit of an uptrend here. Other than that, it's not as clear. So then I would put all those things together, and for my own part, I have a good percentage of my portfolio in stellar as well. Kind of bag holding because I bought into so much of it here on this bottom formation. And then as many of my alts, I wasn't paying attention properly to the market through that first 2 weeks of April. I was busy with other things, and by the time it was already, then I'm going, okay, well, let's just wait and see what's going on with the whole market. And so far it's turned out okay in the long run for what I did transfer. Clear that out. Hey Eric, good to have you along. ICX. I was missing XRP. Is there anything good about it? XRP. Yes, XRP is doing good. That's first, and then we'll do ICX. So with Ripple, we can see that it's just like opposite to Bitcoin here, and it sure looks like Bitcoin is making a top formation, Ripple's making a bottom formation. It's going to be taking off compared to Bitcoin. Somebody in our Discord chat put up a link to a news announcement that it's a rumor that Ripple has bought MoneyGram. And this is the kind of thing that we need in cryptocurrencies, is that the cryptos are big enough that they're buying large international money moving systems that are already in place and working, and then convert them from the inside out to use crypto. Now we've got mass acceptance and mass usage of the crypto. Now the other thing I wanted to look at for Ripple before we go on to ICX is to go to Bitfinex and go to Ripple XRP versus USD. XRP versus USD in the 5-year view. You're all fluent here with 1, 2, 3 bottom formations. And one thing that maybe is new to, well, I've spoken about it before, but let's do it now. This is the size of this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. That is how high it's likely to go. The width of that 1, 2, 3 bottom, usually, and there's nothing usual in the markets, of course, just like Fibonacci's. Anything in there we're looking at, but the bottom formation is so big, we're definitely looking at prices returning back up to where they were before. So we're at 40 cents. It's no stretch of the imagination at all for this to get back up to the $2.50 level. And from some of the rumors in the world about how this is going to impact the trillions of dollars that move throughout the world between banks and what have you, it's unthinkable how this may take off. And then there's the argument about them holding so much of it that they can keep the prices suppressed. So it's a tough one for me, and not my top coin that I'm holding, But because of all of those fundamental reasons, and it's making a bottom formation that looks like it's going to go up 5 times in value, I have some. I like it. Now let's go over to Binance and we'll go and find ICX. Here we are, ICX weekly view. And I like it. I like these 2 big green candles while the price is going up. Like the green big volume while we have 2 big green candles, and then things ease off for a while. And then when we have the biggest candle here, it's a green, the biggest volume rather, we have a green candle there. So those things I like. That's showing that the market is buying it when it's at the bottom. There's more volume in the buying and less in the selling. More volume in the buying and less in the selling. So then we can zoom into the daily view and start to see this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation shaping up. Zoom into the 12-hour view and see how it's, look at the buying candles matching up again. Where we have the biggest volume is a green candle where somebody's accumulating. And then again here, this to me, it makes me think that somebody put up a big sell wall above the market. And somebody who knows better just bought the whole damn thing. Because they don't have to move the market far to get a whole big swath of coin. And so, but there's no way to know that. And of course, we could have all of these alts still continue down and down and down. There's no bottom formation that's turned around yet, but it is time to get prepared. And some of these pre-pump candles here and here are really starting to show that this is setting up. So then it's not going to be a buy signal until it breaks above this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, according to the simple trading plan. There's different ways to trade it, of course, but here's the break of the downtrend line. Then we can draw in the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, sort of consolidating more. So a break above that number 2 point would be, this would be an alert as it's coming up saying, hey, get ready, it's going to break. As it breaks, you could be purchasing, or it may be more prudent to wait for it to come back and retest these levels. And when it shows strength, then you can be purchasing. It's one more filter of this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation that I've found over the last 18 months to be more reliable on the money-making trades, because so many of them have a fake out breakout, all the bots in the world, and everybody's so excited about breaking out of this pattern. But then the larger market forces come in and it breaks back down above that entry point. And so you're quickly turning a nice entry into a losing trade and a bag holder if you're not getting out of it right away. So this is one of the filters that we'll talk about as these things unfold. And I'll tell this story over and over again because it's time. This is the preparation. When it's seeding time, you talk about seeding all day long. Have I seen polymath versus Bitcoin? Buy on rumor and sell on the news? You know it. Let's go check out Poly. Is that right? Poly? Why am I not seeing it? Okay. Bitcoin, get rid of the filter, down to LMNOP. There's Poly. Man, Poly's not giving me the trading pattern that I'm really wanting to see. The volume is starting to come in. Let's go to a longer term, daily, weekly. So the biggest volume, okay, that's not bad. Not bad. But it's not a rich enough bottom formation that... So even though it's not a rich enough bottom formation, it doesn't have the history. It is starting to zoom into some pretty interesting technical patterns. We do have the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation shaping up in here. We do have the break of the down trend line. So that's really important stuff. That's the 4-hour view. 12-hour time frame, exponential moving averages need a bit more time to cross over. But if it did break above these levels out of this range on strength, I would have to act on it. This is where the trading rules overcome my own personal opinion much more often than in the past, where my personal opinion would overcome my trading rules. I've done so many of these trades and alerts, and have just gotten so, it's so routine that I don't care if it's breaking out. I don't get the FOMO I used to. I know it's going to, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. So now it breaks out. I go, oh, good. Now I can see if it's going to retest it, because then it's going to give me a real signal. I don't want to get in on these candles and then have to hold all the way through that stuff. I want to wait for the real signal. So I want to filter out a bunch of the noise and the crap. So I like the chart pattern, and it gives me a plan of what to do on it, but nothing yet to do for me. Walton coin. Now I made some great profit in Walton coin last time it did a run up. Of course, that was a long time ago. Back in here, made a great profit, sold out of this top formation, and then I didn't do much of anything with it. But then I bought in earlier here-ish, thereabouts, because look at the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, broke out of it, it caught me, and then I'm bag holding throughout this thing because I know it's the bottom. I'm not going to jump in and out now. Yeah, I'm just going to hold. This is what I'm doing. I'm positioning for the cryptos. And it's not money I need. It's money I can just put there to do the work for me. It's staying there doing the work. Now the mistake I made, like everything here in the middle of April, is I wasn't paying attention to get out of these as it was breaking and get back into Bitcoin. That would have been a very good thing to do. Now, however, it's making this bottom formation. If I clear this off and we jump into the indicators underneath, kind of too much selling still going on, and it's not giving me enough of that turnaround. It has to, I have some Walton coin, and I'm not selling it. And we'll see how that goes in time, but at these historical low prices with everything going on, I'm just not freaking out. I just don't want to bug out of these trades. And part of it is when I go over to the total market capitalization, and this is over on coinmarketcap.com. Look at the trade volume through the peak of cryptos. This is all of them, Bitcoin and all the alts. So we're at $44 billion US per day, thereabouts, 50. Right? Nice round number, 50. Now we come over here and we're at 75, 90 to 100 per day. And we're nowhere near the top of the bull market. This is the institutional investors coming in and buying. So I don't want to freak out now as a small investor because they're pushing the prices down and they know how to do it. I'm going to just ride this one out. And everyone here who's following along can roast me. As this goes down further, I'll have to resize my position. Especially if Bitcoin's starting to show strength, I will have to capitulate and put that money into Bitcoin instead of holding this as it goes down. So now this is why I'm going into these indicators underneath, so that I can start to tell more about it. So I would check out the RSI, I would check the on-bounce volume, I would check out the MACD indicator, and I may even bring up the Ichimoku cloud and go through it in that as well to help me verify what I should be doing in that. And of course, all of this stuff is really clear and easy when you have the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation breakout. But if you don't have your exit signals prepared in advance, then you look back afterwards and you say, oh, it would have been so good if I would have done that. So that's okay. That's trading. Then write down what you would do next time, what you will do next time, and start preparing for it. Like we do with all these bottoms, we're watching for it over and over and over. It'll be us as a community on Discord to be howling and jumping up and down like crazy on these breaks so that we're all benefiting from getting out of alts and holding on to Bitcoin at that time so that we know to dump out, because we have clear rules of when to get out. When this happens, this is what we do. So I'm glad to have you guys along, and I'm happy to share this trading plan with you. I see I'm wanting everybody's success, and it helps my success too. There's no loss here at all. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It's not limiting how much money I can make. So this is just fun for me to share. Theta is looking good, and I love this on balance buying volume pattern at the end of this 1, 2, 3, and then it's starting to show strength. We're going to have some big moves coming out of this market, and it's just setting up and yelling it to us when we take a look at it like this. So I wasn't paying attention to, but do you think it will pump again when when Bitcoin is slowing? Well, right now the big thing to watch is here. How are the four interacting? So this is the 1 minute bar. Bitcoin, Litecoin is rejecting these lows. Let's zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. So Ethereum's rejecting these lows. Bitcoin's rejecting, Litecoin's rejecting these lows. This is really good. This is really important right now in this overall pattern. And when we start to zoom out and we see where these are catching, and all four of them catching, look at this pattern. This looks really inviting. That's a fantastic trend add-on pattern and an up curving formula here too. Really powerful looking, bullish for me. So when I go into these 4-hour charts, I'm seeing these really looking fantastic. And so then I go over and I look at the coin versus Bitcoin price to see how it's going. But the most important thing right now to determine if Bitcoin or altcoin in your which hand, is the Bitcoin dominance chart here. We can see that if this breaks below the red line, alts are going to moon. That's my theory. And then we have another chart here that's almost mirror opposite, but using different measurements. This is the altcoin market cap against dominance. And we can see that altcoins from April 1st to May 13th, they all suffered as Bitcoin went up. But they've bounced, had this capitulation, and now they're consolidating, looking strong. That's why I'm doing this report here today to see how strong are the alts. When is that actually going to change for us so that we are going from the grays and the oranges to the yellows and the greens all across like we did in February, the middle of February. Now we're watching for that to unfold here in the middle of June. And it's starting. The color coding has changed from oranges and reds to now mostly grays, a few oranges, and some greens and yellows mixed into it. So I think we are in the works for an altcoin bull market. And I could be wrong. That's why I'm doing this study, so that we can know when that happens. And if this is wrong, if Bitcoin dominance starts to take off and the altcoin versus dominance starts to drop back, then it's time to jump out of those alts again and be back into full Bitcoin. And that's what we're studying in advance here. So now we've got our plan. We've got our clear entries and exit signals that we can go through and talk about. And now it's just a matter of doing this on a daily basis, following it and following it. And I don't do this live stream on a daily basis. Actually, I'm running out of time here. I don't do this live stream on a daily basis because really you don't need it every single day. It's a much slower trading plan that takes months to unfold one way or the other. There was a crossover here, nothing to do but watch. Wait for the crossover. Okay, now you take an action. Lots of waiting, lots of sitting in this. Short position, wait until it crosses over. Okay, I'm out. Anyway, this is great stuff. Clam Factum made delisted from Poloniex. No way. Wow. Where's that? On May 26th. Okay, there's some news over there on Poloniex for sure. I don't see the delisting notification. Maybe I have to refresh the page. And it may be for margin trading just for United States as well, because of the nature of the laws there. We'll have to see how that plays out. But Clam, yeah, that was such a nasty manipulation. that should be investigated by the Security and Exchange Commission, because Poloniex will have all of the data of which markets, which accounts did the trading to initiate that. So I don't know how that is, but BitShares is still trading, I think, and it's still on Binance as well. I don't think the market is done. Let's zoom back into Bitcoin here. Still lower on balance volume. Zoom into the 1-day view. So we're in the 5-minute. 5-minute, wow, it really bounced back up in the last hour, 2 hours here. Really rejected that low. And it didn't have huge volume yet for cracking down from here. Fantastic days. I think that we're still in the parabolic uptrend, and all of these things are setting up to go. And I think Litecoin is going to be, again, it's going to step up to be the leader right now as we are watching this unfold. This is a beautiful uptrend. This is a great consolidation pattern that a breakout above this is for me, it's an action point. And then, of course, it would be small, and I would be only hold it if it proves me correct, and I would get out if it starts to fool around at all. And later, I would consider adding on to it. Fortunately, I picked up my Litecoin earlier, so I'm just holding on to it now. That wraps it up for today. We did a killer amount of studies here on these markets, and I hope this is really beneficial for you guys. If it is, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, add a comment below, let me know where in the world you're from, and if you have some questions you'd like me to cover in the next episode of the Bull Market Watch, put them down below. I'm happy to go through and answer whatever kind of things that you're aiming for. Great to have you guys along. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll sign off for now and wish you guys all the best in your cryptocurrency trading. Until next time, cheers. Alts will pump. It's going to be awesome. I'll see you guys in Discord. Thanks again for turning up. Bye for now.